Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Future Soldier, and this is mission 07 of 15 or 12 total missions, excuse me. And this is mission 7, like I said, and it's called Ember Hunt. So there's a guy up here lurking about. So he'll need to be taken out as soon as possible, followed by this guy here. And then these guys you can get away with killing. I've done, when I come to an area like this, I just see what I can get away with as far as hitting whom. Like for instance here, I tested this and I said to myself, can these 3 guys be dispatched without raising an alarm? And if an alarm is raised, even if it can be without the fail status entering the picture, I'll restart, because this is a stealth game. It's not just an action shooting game, and I respect it enough to want to play by its rules. So, excuse me. There's 2 guys below there, guy behind a turret. Now, I think you just need to get a body shot, like where his leg area is. In any case, it'll auto-target him, and you can take him down. And then I wasn't aware that there was another guy over there to the right, a couple of guys, and I got away with it. See, there's a guy over there to the right. I didn't even see him the whole time. I thought I got away with it scot-free. Then I saw him, and I took him down. But when I got to the lower level, I believe I saw even more people. So in that situation, what you want to do is take out the guy on the right first. Test it at least before you kill the group of 4. When I first played this last year, I was doing the stealth, but I'm not doing it as strict as I'm doing it here. And then I got this all of a sudden. So definitely not perfect. This guy here with his back to us. Sorry, I keep banging my cup against the end of the desk. I'm sorry about that. Oh, this next section, I completely went guns blazing on it before, and then this time, my eyes were open to it a lot more. As far as, I think it's just being in a different state of mind. I had the patience for this game last year, but I was too just overly familiar, I think, with like Uncharted, and I thought it was like Uncharted and things like that, you know, and it really isn't. But it's definitely far removed from like a Call of Duty game, which I've never played, and I never want to play unless somebody tortured me into playing it. So this section here, they give you the checkpoint over here, and I will tell you a good strategy to dispatch all or possibly most of the soldiers who are shooting at the house in which we are trying to rescue this Osadse ally. So the first thing you want to do is sneak up on this guy. Wait till the guy to the left starts looking with his binoculars across the way, and this either works or it doesn't. So it doesn't matter, because if you melee him, that was a stealth kill, but I was mashing on the X button to do the melee, and you shouldn't have any problems taking care of them. Or if you want to, you can just shoot them really quickly, one right after the next, like I showed you in video 2. So this scenario here, I did get a bit fortunate. It's random how this works, only in one respect, and I'll show you that respect in a second. But we're taking out 4 enemies here, and I did a lot of testing in this, seeing what I could get away with as far as, where bodies would happen to fall, and whose hearing ranges would those bodies fall, just what I could get away with. So over here, like I tested this too, I would just kill these 2 guys, and then the guy by the building, he would hear. So then I said, then on another playthrough, I just targeted the 3 of them, and then they fell. But sometimes over here you'll get 4 enemies. You see where the number 1 guy is? Nearby him there is usually another guy. So this works regardless, but what you can do is assign your squad mates an enemy each to shoot, and then shoot the 4th enemy. And then there's a slow motion period after where you have heightened sense of awareness or reaction, and then you can kill the other 2 guys. And I did get the little achievement for killing all the soldiers in the house. Otherwise, that's a hard gunfight. But the thing is, I've seen another person just run up to the house without this triggering. And in my own video from last year, see this, they'll throw a flashbang here, and what you need to do is get the hell back. I don't know how you prevent this from happening. What are we on, chapter 7? 2 videos back when I mentioned Sea Dragon 88's guide, and I'm not going to be using his guide to watch, not because I don't want to watch it, just because I don't want any distractions and I don't want to, I want my own guide. But I would suggest looking at his content, because fuck, 3 subscribers, that's it. He's been on YouTube for 8 years. Talk about low return rate. But anyway, on his video and somehow on my video, I went into the house before they did the flashbang, and this is pretty difficult because your teammates are all likely going to fall in combat. In fact, I think when I swivel the camera back at some point, all 3 of them are lying there, just utterly helpless. So I think what I'm trying to do now is shoot the engine out of the tank over there. Failing that, I'll just try to hit these guys with body shots. There are shield enemies around here too, but I don't know how you prevent that from happening. Okay, watch out for those nades. But yeah, I mentioned Sea Dragon 88 before. He has like over 200 uploads. He's been on YouTube for 8 years, 3 subscribers. And I know he doesn't do commentary, he just posts videos, but that's what I did on my other channel. And I had got, within 2 years' time, almost like 2,500 subs. And I had a video with, it landed 3 million views by the time I deleted the channel. So it's weird how YouTube works. And even though I deleted my channel, like I said, I still have access to all the videos. They're just not public, so there they are, stupid idiots. I was contemplating uploading some of my guides to this channel from the other channel, just downloading the MP4s, but the quality won't be very good. And the reason I would have to do that in the first place is because I don't save the videos I make. I used to, but I stopped. And the only projects I wanted to drag over from the other channel, one of them was my Dead Space hardcore run, but it doesn't have me talking on it, but it has annotations, but they don't carry over because they're in a YouTube Excel sheet or something, and I spent just an equal amount of time doing all the annotations for that video as I did beating the game. So it was a huge project that I did, and like I said, the quality is 480p, and it's compressed and everything else, and looked horrible. The other project is Castlevania Rebirth, which I think is the best side-scrolling Castlevania. Better than Super Castlevania with all its lagginess, better than Castlevania 1, better than Chronicles, better than 3. And it's a relatively new game. It's like 3 or 4 years old. That's new in Castlevania terms for a side-scroller. But I decided, the only way I would want to put it on my channel is if I narrated it, and I'm so estranged from that game at this point that I wouldn't know what to say. I don't remember, what the enemies are called, what to do. So I don't know. I suppose I could just talk over it about Castlevania stuff and do like a play-by-play sort of thing. So if any of you want that, it wouldn't be hard to do. The reason I want to do that game in the first place, that is to bring it over to my channel, is because I'm very proud of the accomplishment. It's let me talk about this. From this point on, you don't have access to your equipment. That gives you intel. You'll see that this guy kind of disappears sometimes. See how he disappeared? That's not a glitch with the game. That's because our systems that we use and the technology, it's being corrupted somehow. I don't know for sure exactly, but you'll notice that. Excuse me. Well, you probably won't notice it just by watching me, but you'll notice that when you play, you cannot do synchronized shot. And also for this part right here, watch out. Just make sure that this guy's facing away from you. This is the path I prefer here. It's not hard to get to the goal in time. But just back away, and you'll also notice that there's yellow diamonds where enemies aren't. So it gives you a false impression that there's more. See all these diamonds? It's because the equipment's malfunctioning and it's giving you the wrong information. It's giving you some of the right information, but most of it is just complete falsity. So, like I said, just don't let it get to you. I didn't say that, did I? But I tried to imply it. Just don't let it. It's hard not to let it distract you, isn't it? But anyway, all we have to do is just get into the church. If you can just run into the church, it's fine. I got in. This took me a while to do, a couple hours. The first time, literally, I remember doing this from like one day to the next. But it was just me testing it a lot, and it really isn't easy. So what I'm going to do is, there was one point when, remember back in the previous chapter when I killed 2 enemies, like the bullet went through them? I tried to do the same thing here, and maybe it was because I was prone. Maybe the shot just didn't line up. But I was hoping it would do it because, yeah, it probably went over his head, and you can kill these 2 guys without the detection going off. And at this point, like I said, you can't do any synchronized. You can no sync shots. That's basically what I'm saying. You can't throw sensors either. You can't. What? Oh, you can? Okay, I guess you can, but it's pointless. There is a point at which you cannot throw anything. I guess this is too early into it. So what I would recommend, I think you can still order heal commands. I'm just tossing frags here to clear everybody up, and then I'm going to sprint into the building. And I did this perfectly once. Well, I said perfectly, but I think when I was running in, yeah, they killed me, so I didn't do it perfectly. But I didn't have a gun brawl over here like I'm having now. So once the majority of the enemies are clear, go from cover to cover, and use the cover system in this game. Like, you get to places faster, and even though you don't have iframes, just getting there faster means that sometimes you can run past their bullets that they're, because it thinks you're not as far as you are. Now, the first time I got into this room, I had to wait like a whole minute for my teammates to come because they didn't anticipate that I would just sprint in here. So I edited this. You don't want to kill the guy in the chair. He's going to join your team. Just take care of these 2 guys. And I think the guy to the right, you can't hit. He's too far away. But there's a guy behind the desk every time. But you get a checkpoint, like I mentioned, before and after this section. And the section after this is tough. I would say that it's challenging, but I would also say it's more dangerous than it is challenging. But the fact that it is so dangerous makes it difficult because they can one-shot kill you very easily. Any of these guys, they're ghosts just like us, and we have to face these motherfuckers on the last chapter, and they give you a lot of hell to deal with. So what I would recommend is staying back as much as you can, ordering kill commands by pressing the right bumper whilst hovering over an enemy, and use the third person corner shooting cover trick. And I wish there was a little bit more distinction between your allies and the foes, because sometimes you might see me just shooting my allies. You might think I'm a dumbass or something like that, but they look exactly the same, and sometimes they don't have their name over them because they're too far away, or it's buffering or what have you. But just be extremely careful. I mean, I usually got killed 20 times over here. So be patient, be skilled with your shots. It says in this game, it's an obvious fact, but suppressed weapons do less damage. But on the main enemies in this game, 1 or 2 presses of the trigger kills them. It's pretty simple. Like, there's no really beefy enemies in this game like in Gears of War. So I'm down on all fours over here, trying to kill these guys. You'd be surprised what you can hit people through. So just always try to hit them through wood and blocks and things like that, and just exploit the cover trick around the corner. See, like right there, I was trying to test it. You never know what you're going to be able to get away with. Bottom line. So it looks like Osadze is alive. My other teammates are dead. There's a couple of guys left. And this game also does a weird thing of it's kind of, I don't know if other games do it, but it puts you in first person perspective, which you might say you hate that. It's this with the cover trick. Like, you can't. It doesn't let you. I don't know if it affords you safety, so I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't stick my neck out. Like, we're doing the camera trick, but when you go into first person mode, I don't know. I didn't say it, but I was trying to say it, trying to spit it out while I'm talking here. I don't think it retains that angle that you're at. Like, I had clicked in the R3 to switch shoulders. Or no, excuse me. It goes in the middle of the screen, like the aimer when you're in first person mode. So, like, when you lean out, I would only lean out in third person. I don't trust the first person view. And now we'll get another checkpoint, but we'll need one because we have a long battle ahead. When you exit this, you're going to see an explosion from a tank. And I think in my other guide, just from memory, I didn't consult my guide, but I think I went back into the church and let my teammates kill. But there's that guy, and then there's these two guys over here. And every one of these enemies can one-shot kill you potentially. Sometimes you get a slight reprieve, sometimes not. Most likely not, in my experience. And I'm going to have to put the perspective in the magnetic mode, for the simple reason that if I don't, I will not be able to see very well where the enemies are located. So take him out, and then what I like to do is go around this house. There will be an explosion, but it's just for a fact, it won't kill you. And refill my ammo right over here and flank the enemies. So when I said that I regretted that I had to put it in this mode, it's just because I realized that it's an ugly and unattractive mode to watch. So, like, when I first saw somebody playing this game, it was in this mode, and it was back in like 2012 when the game was coming out, and like it just did not appeal to me whatsoever. But the difference is night and day with the consoles and the PC version. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be somebody who just plays computer games anymore, but like, I have a PS4, but without any games, what's the point of that piece of shit console? So, see if we can. Okay, he was on his last leg in there, you son of a bitch. And my prediction in the previous video about Uncharted 4, it'll probably be. When did Uncharted 3 come out? September 2012? 13, 14, 15. I doubt they can make it happen in 2000. I think it's going to be a 2016 game release, you guys. So that is potentially 3.5 to 4 years of a wait. Double the time of the wait between 1 and 2 and 2 and 3. Even though I never waited for those, because by the time 3 came out, I hadn't played the first 2. Or I played the first 2 like right before number 3 was coming out, and experienced the grandeur that was Uncharted. And I'm just not a big fan of the PS4 these days. Not just because it has 0 games to play. And don't tell me there's indie games, because I count those as not games. Just like I don't count first-person games as games. And I realize the ironic and hypocritical nature of that statement, saying that something that's a game is not a game. But you know what I mean. I can't be perfect when I speak. But I also hate the PS4 control because the thumbsticks are shitty. I threw that on accident right there. I wasn't mad or anything, but what I hate is that the wells in the thumbsticks are not as deep nor as comfortable as the 360's controller. So I just think the 360's controller is perfection, you know, with the decreased weight of the rumble motors removed. So we're on to the next section up here. I put all this in fast forward because there's no need to watch it in real time, because look how long it takes, and we'll be on the final gunfight of the chapter right now. The last fight shouldn't give you too many problems, but I was just watching my own guide, and let me just talk about this real briefly. Take out the engine of this tank to blow it up and possibly get some collateral damage, but so we're facing these standard enemies whom you can see with or without the magnetic view. The magnetic view is going to help you out here tremendously. But when the ghosts come out, the ghosts that, you know, they can do the same thing we do, go invisible, although they can run and do it. I was just watching my own guide, and I wasn't even using the magnetic view, and I was allowing these enemies to do whatever the hell they would want to do, because they're only visible like when they're running up to you. So I apologize if anyone was watching that. It's, you know, I feel like a fucking jackass not knowing that stuff. You know, it's unadulterated and unalloyed ignorance at its finest. So once you kill the last guy, whoever it is, this guy was the last guy for me, they give you a moment and you can go select some weapons from the box. They give you about 15 seconds to get your bearings straight. So I picked the PDC and a mini rocket launcher, which only gives you 1 round, so it's not really worth it in totality unless you clear a bunch of these guys. So I've also left the cutscenes in. We're basically, this is the same old conceit that this game usually does. Kill everybody, but we're coming for you. Just hold your ground for now. But I have my video paused from last year on my phone, and I wasn't even doing this. I wasn't using magnetic view. But some of these guys are going to rush you. Staying back is crucial. It says you need to protect Osadze, but I've come to the conclusion after doing this that you don't have to preserve his HP, because there's 2 cutscenes with him, neither of which are checkpointed after which, and it's scripted. I mean, he doesn't have a health integrity, so it's fine. But here he is. He's kind of, you see by his actions that his gestures that he's motioning you over to where he is, but you don't have to go back there. I don't believe so. You might try expediting that. Yeah, definitely, I would say you know what, I might even be ignorant again, but and the thing is, when you get the little mini rocket launcher, it doesn't give you any more, even if you go to the weapons ammo box. So I think, and here, you know, ignorance never ends, but we could always strive for knowledge and try to fill in the gaps wherever possible. So I think maybe at this point, like whenever there's a lull in the battle, go back to where he is. Just try it. I mean, if it doesn't work, what do you really lose? But I can guarantee that if you just hold your ground here, it will transpire as it normally does. And hell, you see the reason I'm not... see this melee kill right here? Get down there, you fucker. You see that right there? I had to put that guy to bed. I had to put him to bed because when you're near that weapon swapping box, it's hard to aim. I mean, they don't even let you aim, rather, I should say. But, and overall, so we really haven't had that many excruciating challenges yet. We've had a couple of semi-excruciating ones, and I don't know what lies before me, you guys, in all honesty. We could be dealing with hell on earth coming up with this game, because it says hardcore for a reason. And I'm a little wary of what's to come. So this is the end of the mission. It's all scripted. We're going to jump down, defend him in diamond formation, and I will see you guys in Chapter 8. Thank you.